Welcome back to Ben or Break. I'm your host, Ben, and today we have a co-host, AlbinoCheesemonkey.
Hello.
We're janking off together in Magic the Gathering, playing the standard format with custom mystery brews. So what are you playing tonight, Mikey?
Well, as you know, I have a penchant for naming my decks, so with very accurate namings. So today's deck is called Under the Radar. It's a mono blue deck, and that's all I'm going to tell you.
Okay, I am playing a red deck, so we have a matchup for the ages, red versus blue. We'll have to see how this plays out. For those watching, we are both streaming the same games. You can watch either perspective or both. If you do both, probably mute one of us. Our audio should be coming through both streams. But it looks like Cheesemonkey is going first and deciding his mulligan.
Yeah. I think I'll keep.
All right. My hand is good enough. Chat, we have our key card here. This is how we plan on winning the game. Island versus mountain. Again, matchup for the ages.
Yes, but what if I told you I have 2 islands?
Well, I'm not sure.
And an enchantment horror.
Okay. So chat, this is difficult. We have cards that can deal with it. We kind of want to be using these cards more efficiently than just dealing with a 1/1. But we don't know what our opponent's up to. Don't want to take any chances, and we want to play on curve. So Pyroclasm, dealing 2 damage to each creature, includes your creep.
Who plays Pyroclasm?
Well, I play Pyroclasm. It's a sweeper, man.
Clearly.
You know I love sweepers.
How dare you? I'm going to go find something else to play.
Okay.
That's not it.
Chat, let me know if you want me to hover over any cards. I'm just going to be trying to highlight my most recent or my next play. All right. If things go well.
Well, this doesn't have all the value I was hoping for it, but it does get me a card.
No, I am a little concerned that so far all the cards you play have printed somewhere on them, draw a card, which is the best thing you can be doing in a card game. All right.
Mono blue. I should have mulliganed, though. Because, believe it or not, it's supposed to be mono blue aggro, which I'm not doing right now.
Wait, we're playing mono blue aggro versus mono red control? What a twist. Oh, I don't like that. You can play that at flash speed, though.
I should read cards. It's my biggest weakness. I appreciate that.
It's okay. I'm tired of seeing this card in Standard.
I didn't. I'm sorry for putting non-jank. I'll replace it with jank immediately.
For any of y'all grinding Standard out there, this appears in the Dimir decks. Dimir Tempo, Dimir Flash kind of deals, as just such a powerful card grinder, and it's sticky, hard to remove. All right, so I see you're doing well on your island count. I've only found 1 mountain.
This deck runs 18 lands.
Oh my! And you just rely on your draw card effects to fill you in. Okay. You can do that at instant speed also.
What did I? Oh, right. Okay. Well, I like giving away what I'm going to do so that you can properly prepare, you know.
Okay,
I'm a gentleman like that.
I'm going to properly prepare by getting rid of that before you can get it to 3 and pop it on my forge.
Okay.
This also gets me a 2nd mountain, which I do need for some of the red cards in my hand.
Now, can anybody in the chat who's not looking at my screen guess what kind of land I'm going to take?
I'm guessing
If you guessed island, you were right.
Well, I'm not in the chat, so I guessed right. All right. And then one of my favorite instructions from Foundations, Maze Mind Tome. Classic control card. Draws cards, gains life. It's an artifact, so it's hard to remove. Very flexible. All right. We see that, yep, the Cheesemonkey has something that can target creatures. It's into the Flood Maw. Very effective versus tokens. because returning a token to hand poofs it out of existence. Tokens can't go to hand, nor can they go to the graveyard.
I'm going to give you a fish. Congratulations.
Okay. I don't like that because we get to keep our forge in our hand, but all the counters go away. So our constantly escalating threat of hasty Phyrexian tokens slows down. That, like, AlbinoCheesemonkey, that can be played at flash speed.
Right. Like I said, I'm very nice.
Most of my removal is source free speed, so if you play it at flash speed, it gets around it a lot easier.
That's true. Okay.
Also,
thank you for teaching me how to beat you.
You should be very... We're friends. We are good friends. We're not just collabing because
that's true.
One of us has so many viewers that we're just trying to...
To be clear.
Also, be careful blocking my creatures because all my kill effects rely on damage, and so taking damage means I can use lower grade kill effects. Yeah,
but I was hoping you would waste it on that, which will still sit around for me. So
yes,
all good.
All you have to do is stick a creature on board, keep it on board. Surely
all I have to do is get a creature.
All I have to do is get a 5th land, and then a 6th land, and then
there are creatures in this deck. There are many creatures in this deck.
We've seen several. We've seen 2 Curiosities and a creep.
That's true. That's true.
Your Flood Moths make fish, but those are for the opponent, not me. Not you.
All right, I don't need this.
Yeah, Eidetic Memory is a legendary enchantment. Cheesemonkey can only have 1 in play. So if he played it out, he would just be effectively drawing a single card off of it.
Though the reason I do play 4 of them is because it's not so bad if I stick one in and then it throws the other one out, because I still draw a card and use the effect. All right, that's good. Now we can get started.
Oh, a creature has been found?
A creature has been found.
Ginger Brute. Okay, how big is a Ginger Brute going to get? I can't remember. Okay, so you did resolve that Chart of Course this turn, so that's a big Brute. It will take my beats. You'll draw your card.
Now we're running.
Running hastily.
We're moving. We did it. Mono Blue found the aggro. It was ginger flavored.
Okay, I really wanted to land there, so we could play both of these cards, but I needed more mana for that. So we will content ourselves with playing our game-winning card and hopefully getting that moving. Deal with our opponent's threats when we're more able. Unlike many control decks, we don't quite have the luxury of just keeping our opponents from losing the game and then cobbling together a win condition eventually. We do have to kind of play some proactive moves. I like Forge. It's a very chill proactive move. You can just play it out and let it do its thing. It's very hard to remove, especially
are you familiar with this card?
Let's read it. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, that's me, look at that many cards from the top of the library. Oh, okay. Choose a card, play it for free, more or less.
That's right. We like free cards.
I feel like this Brute is going to be unlocking my vault.
Oh yeah, let's unlock that vault.
Let's see if
Let's see what's in there.
Let's see if there's some bombs that can be cast for free in this 18-land deck. Shoreline Looter. I consent. It's another creature that draws a card. I'm seeing the continuing theme. Ginger Brute and Floodmaw are the only cards I've seen that don't draw more cards.
Yes, but there's another theme that would be more apparent if you had creatures.
Well, I've already been Floodmawed twice.
Remember the name of the deck. Under the Radar.
Under the Radar. So what's the Radar? Is there Radar in Magic the Gathering? With Universes Beyond, surely there will be soon.
That's a good point. Or, what is it, the upcoming sci-fi set?
Oh, that's true. Is there there's an upcoming sci-fi set? I guess so.
Next summer, yeah.
Let's breathe a sigh of relief, chat. we dealt with the ginger brute. The 1 for 1. It only costs us 2 cards to do it. Great door. Oh, it says draw a card on it. What a surprise.
But do you see the second effect? Because that's the fun one.
Transforms into a land with Fathomless Descent. Add X mana of any color, or X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. I wonder what color you would choose for such an effect.
Red.
Clearly the superior color in this matchup.
What don't I need?
Into the Royal. Bounce. And a Hasty Brute. Thankfully only a 2/2 this time. Alright, chat. We need to get the rest of these out. Keep things flowing. And unfortunately, we kind of need to keep dealing with this board. I will bottom out for now, because this is more what we're looking for. So the looter can't be blocked. Okay. Ginger Brute also can't be blocked, except by creatures with haste, if you pay me.
Now you got it. Yeah.
I think we just need to keep the board clear, unfortunately. Possibly I should have drawn with Fountain Port there, but I'd rather just get our tome out, smooth out our draws. Because the sooner we can get to this, safer we will be. We need another land to do that. Mischievous Mystic. No card draw on this one, just an effect that rewards card draw. And my Forge is being returned to hand. My opponent is drawing a card. So it turns out that the card we bottomed last draw step also would have been pretty good here. At least until this resolves. Ooh, this is going to be a bit of a butt clench, chat. I'm pretty sure I don't have any... Oh, no, I do have ways to deal with Enduring Curiosity on the side, but it's very mana inefficient. So question, does your blue deck play counter spells? Not free ones, I'm sure.
Not in its current form, no.
I'm still worried about...
I feel so controlled.
I'm trying. You have way more cards in hand than me, though. I'm concerned about another haste creature knocking down our Chandra. We love our Chandra here. I should keep that text on screen longer so y'all can read it. Oh.
Again, that could have been done in instant speed. It's all right.
I guess.
Listen, I build the jank and then I learn how to play the jank. That's how this works.
Okay. A lot of these effects often are activate only as a sorcery, so I don't blame you for making that play. Okay. We might be able to stop drawing with Tome now. Our life total isn't really under threat. We're just trying to maintain control of the board. Okay. This is one of our favorite cards.
Brass Forge?
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna... Am I worried about the core? I suppose I should be.
It's only 10 mana. It's not a big deal. Okay, that's fair.
Okay, let's
no, I didn't do anything cheeky like shove omniscience in here or anything, because that would just be too obvious. Plus, if I draw it, I can't do anything with it. So
Worried about letting our opponent draw a billion cards.
I like cards. Don't forget that I have no maximum hand size either.
I did forget that.
Interesting.
I'm a little worried, chat. The point of Forge as a win con is they're hard to interact with. But our opponent has repeatedly bounced. You've bounced a Forge twice now, at least, and you keep drawing more cards. I was really hoping to draw a card to defend Chandra better, but we weren't able to.
It's now the time to do this. People watching see my mouse hovering over a card, deciding if now is the time.
That sounds like a return all non-land permanents to their owner's hand kind of card. No non-creature, non-land? Is it filter out? Is it... Do you have filter out in your deck? No, Season of Weaving. Okay, so I was... Non-land, non-token. Okay. And it made a token Mystic. I'll be totally honest. I'm glad I get to keep Chandra.
It's true. There's not a whole lot. I challenged myself to stay mono blue, so I couldn't put any hard removal that I would have done if I had chosen to do Simic. But we'll see. You know, the beauty of jank is often your janky ideas split into many other janky ideas. So there was a time where this deck was a Simic, get as many lands in the discard as possible deck.
I like those.
Yeah. With the payoff being mostly because it was more focused on what do I want to do here?
Yeah, I think we might have made a mistake there.
I have so many options. All right. This is a good start.
Sorcery, you can play it at instant speed.
Thank you. I'm going to put that on a sticky note. For reference, everybody, I started playing Magic with Bloomborough.
Yes, newer player.
And I have ever since played so much Draft that when I moved into Constructed, I wanted to play my favorite Draft cards in Standard, which is not a great idea. But it does require you to get really good in the way of the jank.
It's true. Drafts. I don't know. I think Constructed is the better place for jank, though. You can't really do too much jank in Draft because...
No, you can't jank in Draft, but there are cards you see that you wish you could draft, that you want to build decks around. And then there are cards that are good in Draft. I don't know if Mischievous Mystic sees play in Standard, but it's a Draft power bomb. And the fact that I could come up with some sort of Standard deck to play a Draft bomb that otherwise wouldn't see play, it makes me happy. But I'm talking as if I've been playing for more than... When did Bloomborough come out? August? December.
We just
I've been playing for like 4 months. I'll take those hits.
You've learned. You took 1 damage on your Curiosity. I play out this Mechanized Warfare, and then my Tectonic Hazard deals 2 to it.
They're learning.
It only dealt 1. You are at 6.
Yeah, that is problematic. Usually I'd be eating my ginger brutes, but they're gone.
How many did you have in your deck? I see 3.
I have 4 because it's the only 1-drop I found that can't be blocked, which is the actual theme of this deck.
We got that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, thankfully, this deck doesn't plan on blocking.
No, it doesn't. I'm usually used to them putting out their big creatures and then me just sliding under the radar.
Do we have the capability to block in our deck?
What a weird matchup.
I don't know if we even have the ability to block. Not
like, I'm sitting here holding on to this rat that like shuts off your creatures.
Oh.
You don't have those.
My creatures. What's that? Beastmaster? Beastbinder? It's beast something.
Beastbinder, yeah.
1/3. It's a 1/3 vigilance.
So chat, I live in my own meta. Sometimes I accidentally play cards that are meta, but I didn't know, like Enduring Curiosity, because Enduring Curiosity is a cool card in my personal brain meta. But apparently it's also a good card in the meta.
It's a good card in the meta.
Yeah.
So remember, if you attack Chandra, you don't
get
your key.
Yeah, I remember.
So surely you'll want to attack my face and not Chandra, right?
Absolutely. That's one. Oh shoot! I misclicked.
No, I was hoping you would attack my face. Oh. We'll keep that card.
Shoreline Looter's another example of a draft superstar. I have to start blocking.
Yeah, with Mechanized Warfare out, they're effectively swinging for 3 each. So you go down to 2. But I have an instant.
All right, chat. So what I learned is that I have far too much creature control in this deck.
Well, no, but
we'll see.
The shtick is you're going against a deck that specifically has no creatures. I don't know if this.
Oh, did we forget to set this up as a best of 3?
No, we do a so yeah. We're doing our format is a best of 1 first, blind mystery. We don't know what each other's playing.
Ah, that's right. Yeah.
Then we're gonna do a deck breakdown. Each of us. Show what we're working with, and then go to a best of 3 now that we know what we're doing to finish off the jank of the evening. All right, do you want to go first, Cheese Monkey?
Why don't you go first?
Okay. So as you picked up from our best of 1 game, we are a control deck. Unlike most control decks, we're number 1 only in 1 color, and number 2 that color is red, not a color very well known for control. An archetype you sometimes see pop up, not in the meta, but off meta, is big red. We honed even more on just control focus, not so much face damage, not so much big burn, but winning the game with our friendly little forge. This is our win condition. It's a threat that just keeps getting bigger. It's hard to remove. You have to remove the forge itself, not the tokens, because the tokens just keep getting generated every turn, bigger and bigger. To stay alive while our forge slowly whittles down the opponent, we rely mostly on sweepers. Tectonic Hazard, 1 mana, 1 damage to all creatures. And the opponent. Just a little bit thrown in there. Pyroclasm, 2 damage to all creatures for 2. Brotherhood's End, 3 damage to all creatures for 3. You're sensing a theme here. We have 4 copies of each. We sweep hard. This probably should be a Slag Storm from the new Foundation set, but I had 4 Brotherhood's Ends and no Slag Storms. So if you decide to build red like this, probably go Slag Storm. The reason is Brotherhood's End, it deals damage to Planeswalkers. That can be good, but we run, as our other win condition that's not Forge, several Planeswalkers. Koth, Fire of Resistance. He wants to grab mountains and then deal damage to creatures and turns our mountains into win conditions with his ultimate. Chandra Hope's Beacon. Both the Chandras really were running for the same reason. Card advantage, mana advantage, and board clears. One ability for each. I guess Flame Shaper +2 does both mana and card advantage. Pretty neat. We have Mechanized Warfare as a combination for a lot of our sweeper effects. Briefly in Standard, when Brothers War came out, this was used in aggro decks. It's not very efficient for that, because you're playing 3 mana to just add 1 damage to all your creatures and effects. It's a little more appealing when you're doing a sweeper, where if you deal 1 damage to like 5 different creatures, each of those instances gets an additional damage. So there's a little bit of efficiency. I don't think it's quite the perfect card, but I wanted to try it out as a 2 of. Maze Mindstone important for our card advantage to keep all these cheap sweeper effects flowing. Same for Visions of Phyrexia. We're trying this out. 4 mana do nothing is a lot, but we can usually survive the early game to make this late game card advantage. Rounding out the deck, Filigree Silex and Blast Zone can each be sacrificed with counters on them to deal with any kind of non-land permanents. Red doesn't deal very well with enchantments in particular, so this is useful for that. And Ironcrag for a tiny bit of colorless ramp. Mana base, all mountains and utility lands. We have Fountain Port for card advantage, Demolition Field for getting rid of creature lands, which a lot of our deck functions at sorcery speed. We have a hard time dealing with the restless lands, which often activate during the opponent's turn. And Blast Zone, as already mentioned, for enchantments, 1 Murex. That is our deck. Sideboard over here, we'll cover that when we get to sideboarding in our best of 3. Over to you, Cheese Monkey.
I'm definitely not going to quickly slip in a Fountain Port because I forgot.
Okay. Can I look at your deck on Moxfield now? I think I can.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I can bring it up for my viewers.
I'm just looking at it here in Arena.
Okay.
So let's go through it. So, as you can see, it's got a very aggressive curve. Because we are, at its core, a mono-blue aggro deck that never runs out of cards. The theme of the deck is we hit them, and when we hit them, good things happen. And also, it's really easy to hit them because it's hard for them to block us. So, in the 1-drop slot, we've got our Ginger Brutes, which was the only 1-drop creature I found that has some sort of evasion effect, albeit you do have to pay for it. But this deck, with all its card draw, does not have a problem having excess lands, even though it only plays 18. I went a while in testing without the Ginger Brute, and I just found out that if I don't have a 1-drop to get going, especially a 1-drop with haste, it's so hard to get going. Which is why I should have mulliganed in that last game, because I didn't open with any of my 1-drops, which was... Anyway, so down here, so I was struggling with finding good removal, so I went into the Flood Maw, which is from a card I'm very familiar with because Bloomburrow was my first set. It gives them a fish. The problem, that is a bit unfortunate because the fish can block most of my creatures except my Ginger Brute if I pay for it. But it was the only, I liked it better than Unsummon because it has the additional option of bouncing back their Urbrask Forges.
Oh yes, just for forge.
Yeah. Opt, which is the 1-mana card draw spell I opted for. Mm-hmm. And then here's a weird little thing. The Lost Jite?
I think I hear Jite most.
So, I was kind of experimenting with... I've always wanted to get this into a deck because I think it's neat. The thing that I like about it most is that I was looking for effects that fire on damage because I do a lot of small amounts of combat damage. And this accrues value every time I do that. The thing I find myself using it for most in the early turns is untapping a single land so I can play another one of these spells. Mm-hmm. Opt or Into the Flood Maw. Or just another Ginger Brute. Whatever I feel like, and it ends up being really, really great for that if it's in my opening hand. If it's not in my opening hand, even when the creature's equipped to dies, the counters stay there. If I happen to play a creature, I think there's only one creature in this deck that can. If they happen to play a flyer or something that can block the Mischievous Mystic and his fairies, or the Enduring Curiosity, I can disable that blocker. But more often than not, I'm just using it to pump up my creatures if it's played mid to late game. The creatures were all chosen for very specific reasons, and it's the line can't be blocked. Hence the name Under the Radar. So we have 4 copies of Shoreline Looter, which is probably one of, if not my favorite Bloomburrow draft card. Is my favorite if I'm going blue. And he's cool, and he has a threshold, which we'll get back to in a second. Ability where if he's does damage while under threshold, he's still drawing a card and then discarding a card, which gets him closer to threshold. It's always nice when threshold creatures can get themselves closer to threshold. And then Howl Creeper, which is just a creepy little guy. Usually the order I'll do this in is if I have eidetic memory, I'll usually do the counters first to make them beefy, and then I'll do the card draw, and then we'll do the copy. But so these are the two workhorses. And then if I can get this guy out, he's there to give me an infinite amount of chunk blockers for the most part. I usually use the fairies for chunk blocking, because the one thing this deck struggles with is its life total. Because
no life gain, limited removal.
Yeah, very limited life gain. So that's another thing that the Ginger Brutes are kind of can be used for life gain in a pinch, and that saved me like once.
I guess Ginger Brutes can block too, and then sacrifice. I didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly.
I always see people attacking with them.
Yeah. So, and then we got the Enduring Curiosities. Again, the whole point is to not be blocked and then get value from hitting their face, because face is the place that we want to be.
Such a blue sentiment.
I know, right? I don't have time to watch you play when I'm playing mono blue. It's all about getting at the face. God bless Jank. Okay. Chart of course. I had a lot of options for the 2-slot here, some of which are in my sideboard, but I'm not going to show. But the one that I run for game 1 in a best of 3 is Chart of Course. I like Chart of Course because it draws 2 cards, and I am also attacking a lot. If I have Prof down, I'll probably just play it before. If I don't, and get the +2 2 counters. If I don't have Prof down, I'll play it after I hit their face and just get 2 cards, and not discard any of them. So I really liked it for that flexibility.
Oh, yeah, it's good in both spots.
And then this one is actually, I'm testing this one as even more card draw. So generally I'll be drawing as much as possible and seeing what they can in game 1, because I am trying to build this as a best of 3 deck, but we'll see what happens when we get to a game 2. Eidetic Memory, I went back and forth on this card a lot, because in earlier drafts of this deck, this card actually did nothing, because I was relying too much on the battle phase to do my draw. But then I started introducing Opt and Chart of Course, and then it really started to sing. And the reason I play 4 copies is because I can often, when one's down, I'll just play another one down, and then it throws one out because it draws a card when it comes in, and I'll still get my +1/+1 counter anyway. Plus, it kicks the other one down to activate the threshold of the Shoreline Looter.
That's true.
So that's the reason I decided to go with 4 copies of it. This card is just fun.
This was
I'll be
surprisingly
honest.
big problem for my deck. It's bad against decks that use single target spot removal when you're going tall. But my deck uses a lot of low damage, wide sweepers. And Eidetic Memory is a way to just go tall over those sweepers, so that your Gingerbread one turn just came in 1/1, went to 4/4, and suddenly none of my sweepers can touch it on their own. I have to do multiple effects to kill your one drop.
So this card I put in as a as a silly little card at the beginning when I thought I was going to be cheating Omniscience or play 4 copies of Seasons of Weaving or whatever, and ended up sticking around for the reason that the only thing better to me than drawing a card and then playing that card is not drawing that card and just playing it immediately. So it is really nice. It is the reason that I've kept a Season of Weaving in here, just because Season of Weaving Season of Weaving leaves my opponents wheezing, because it's so many options. I can bounce the entire board and leave a token of something behind. I can draw 5, put 5 counters on something that can't be blocked. It's a really great card. I really should probably be playing 2 of them, but I wanted room for other neat stuff. And then this card, it helps me enable. I was running. What's the name of that vehicle that sits on the field and lets you mill every turn? Submerged something or other.
There's a schooner, but that's not quite the same. I think I know what you're talking about. It's a draft common in blue.
Waterlogged Hulk.
Waterlogged Hulk.
So Waterlogged Hulk is an artifact that is 1 mana. This used to be my turn 1 play for a while, and then I realized it was too slow for what I was trying to do. It sat down, sits on the field for 1 mana. It has a free instant speed effect to just mill a card. And then you can craft it by taking 4 mana and one of your islands, either one in your graveyard or when you have out. Usually, I would take a tap one to turn itself into a vehicle with vigilance, 4/4 with vigilance, crew 1 that can't be blocked if you have 8 permanents in your discard. It was cool. It matched the theme, but it was too slow.
Yeah, it looks like
so I kind of replaced that with the Great Door, which can just draw and mill every turn for fun. And then if I'm feeling cheeky and at near mid to late game I have like 5 billion cards in my hand and I want to cast them all, it can just get me 10 mana to do that. So it's a fun card. That's the deck. Blastman's in here because I'm struggling with removal.
Yeah, same as my deck.
And the rest are islands. I've gone with my only full art island here because I like the full art lands, and this is the only one I have from Foundations. So that's it. That's under the radar. We play creatures that are extremely difficult to deal with. I think I missed Azure Beastbinder. So Beastbinder is cool because he also can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or greater, and when he attacks, he can turn one of their. I should have read that card. It can turn an artifact, creature, or planeswalker and cause it to lose all of its abilities until my next turn. So maybe I will keep that.
Does that lock down my forge, perchance?
It does. But only when he attacks.
Next turn. Well, and 3 toughness only gets hit by one of my sweepers, so we'll see how this goes in our
I'll have to remember to play
3
this
match.
I often have trouble remembering to read my cards. And it leads me to being like, yes, I put it in for this reason, and then not realizing it also does this other really nice thing. Like come in at instant speed.
All right, are we ready to go to our best of 3?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
All right, send me the challenge. My challenge button is behind my dear viewers here. Got my camera set up right in front of it. Had to put it somewhere.
That's right. Mono blue aggro versus mono red control.
Matchup for the ages. I'm
sure. The way it should be.
I received a challenge. All right, let's switch back over to our proper MTG scene. Select our deck. And we're off. All right, so what we're hoping to see in our opening hand is Forge. We don't mulligan for it, but it's one of the best cards we can see. We want at least 1 sweeper, and ideally 1 source of card advantage. That's usually Mazemind Tome is our best, or Visions of Phyrexia. This hand does not fit the bill. It's a little risky running so many non-mountain lands, because we do need red mana. But we also need interaction, and some of our lands give us that for types we can't normally deal with.
I like to see my Ginger Brute so I can get things going immediately.
It's not a
mulliganable offense to not have it, but this hand is a mulliganable offense. This hand is also terrible.
If you want to see both hands, pull up both streams. Just mute one of us, right?
That's right. All right. I like what I see. There are things that I don't like about what I see, but we're going with it.
Island Gingerbread is your desired start.
I brought cookies. This is what I was worried about.
Uh-oh. Did you keep a 1-lander?
I kept a 1-lander.
My guy,
so we're just going to keep hitting you with the cookies.
You have 18 lands.
I know, but I didn't want to mulligan past 5. We'll get one. It's fine. They're in there.
I think we go with Tome right now, chat, to make sure we hit more of this card.
See, I only need 1 land. Because now I brought enough cookies for the whole class.
Oh, what a kind man.
It's you and me. We're the whole class.
We are the whole class. Do I keep that? We can't be too picky. I keep a tap land because this is just going to slow you down so much.
Oh, that was my only life gain.
Well, you've got more in the deck.
You'll
find land with Opt. I'm sure you will.
That's not an island. It's also not an island. I've made mistakes.
Okay, well, both of these decks can struggle with mana. That's what we're seeing. But I think our Tome, love the card, has gotten us where we need to be. Eat 1/1.
That's not a cookie.
No, but you're going to eat it.
Note to self, don't keep one land hands.
Don't keep one land hands. Chat, don't do it.
Don't do it. Doesn't matter, I don't care.
I have to show off a neat interaction.
How many cookies you have? That's a land.
Port sacks Urbask Forge tokens when you're done with them, because they just get sacrificed anyway to draw a card. And Sunken Citadel helps pay for that activation because it makes 2 mana for lands. Here's Fountain Port again. Oh, are you hovering over my forge? I saw you hovering over my forge.
I was looking at your discard.
No, I saw some hovering on my forge. Oh, you're doing it again. Yeah, like that.
How about that?
No, stop your hovering.
Stop touching. I'll stop touching your cards.
I'm not touching your cards. I'm just showing chat what my cards do.
No, I said I'll stop touching your cards. Let's give you a threat.
Okay.
So threatening.
In this case, chat,
this guy's a creeper.
We're not really going to have better things to do with this card. It's fine to just cash it in now. So we can spend our turn building our board. Like that. Alright, 2 forges should be a lot harder for him to deal with.
What a terrible card. It kills your creature when it's done. Ugh.
That's not a very sacrifice mindset. You still see these crop up in sacrifice decks, main deck, usually Rakdos. It just keeps generating sacrifice fodder while also presenting a late game threat for control decks. That's probably more meta use for these. But we're not playing meta, we're playing jank. Chat, think of your favorite jank card in Standard right now. We need ideas. At least I need ideas. Do I need them? Maybe. I want them. I want your ideas.
Have a
man.
Fish.
Now my forge has no counters on it when it's in my hand. Alright, let's see here. Can't deploy everything we want to. That's life. But I think it is worth getting this forge down. Our opponent is behind. Life total plummeting. Yeah, we still draw here.
You see, chat, my mistake was assuming I'd draw into another land. Never assume that you're going to draw into anything.
You don't trust the heart of the cards? Wrong card game?
That's only when I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh!
I see.
That's where the heart of the cards lives. Alright, what do I do? Problem is they're just going to kill it.
I will try.
This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to annoy you.
That draws a card. Okay. Well, I'm going to annoy you.
That's a particularly menacing fish you got there. Where'd you get that?
A friend gave it to me. I'm going to annoy you with my third.
All right.
My best card.
I think that this Jank-Off is going to game 2. And I'm gonna not keep a 1-land hand.
The Jank-Off always goes to game 2. It's best of 3.
That's true. That is true. That is how it works.
All right, chat. Oh, I hate the sideboard bug. I guess we can dodge it by doing this. This is an important card versus... Hopefully you know what card I'm talking about.
I'm going to leave this on screen because you see that I put this in here in case somebody happened to be playing against me with some sort of obnoxious enchantment or artifact or, what you see. They're not going to like it.
Uh-oh.
Assuming I draw it, obviously. Now the problem is, what do you take out in this case? I'm going to take this out because I haven't gotten to use it. Your little critters from the forge, they have trample, don't they?
Yeah. X1s with trample. Maybe I go down to 17 lands, like a true draft deck. Nope. Don't you do that. This is constructed. You're writing 60 cards, not 40. Anyway, I think we want to keep all our instant speed interaction because he has some flash threats. We can go down a few of our late game cards. And I think we're good here.
All right, let's see how that goes. I may have overboarded, but there's clearly something I needed that I was missing, and I had a lot of it.
That sounds like counter magic?
No.
No? You were missing counter magic. Is it flash threats? Is it artifact removal? Mono blue doesn't really have artifact removal aside from bounce. I'm not going to keep a one-lander like you did. This plays.
I'm going to keep this because it has not 1, but 2 lands.
That's a good number for your deck. Hard to ask for more when you're only running 18.
Now the question is, what do I put back? Put that back. Okay. All right, here we go. Ben,
That's
you
me.
like cookies?
I do. Just don't shove them in my face. No.
Force feeding. Won't do it.
That's not what we're about here. I'll take 1 damage.
All right, let's see if you have an answer to this.
No, carry on.
Okay. I think I will. Ah, that mono blue aggro life.
I'm worried about that 3 untapped blue mana. Let's see what you have. Not a counterspell. Oh, a free fish. How thoughtful. This does make this card worse for us. Yeah.
Should I turn your fish into a 2/2? Not yet.
You should. It'll lose all its abilities, which surely must be a good move. What am I going to do with a fish without abilities?
Who needs cards in your hand, right? Who needs them?
I still see you have one.
I know, but like, I could have had more if I didn't play that out.
Clear my
oh
fish.
Dear. I am scared of your fish. I'm not going to block your fish.
Scared enough to take one to the chin?
Oh. You slapped me with a fish.
Alright, opponent has something at instant speed. Is it bounce?
Oh, it's Ginger Brute.
Oh, okay, sorry. You're right, you have an activated ability.
Okay. I did actually want that cookie. Man, that is a lot of cards to deal with a lot of things.
Well, I had to spend a lot of cards on it. It's 2 cards to deal with your 3, but when you're in mono red, you have to take virtual card advantage like that when you can. All right, we got a good turn now, chat. Hopefully, we can get in with our forage token, and then Sunken Citadel coming in clutch to turn this token into a card.
Oh, nice. I should have gone to 17 lands.
No, you should not have gone to 17. Possible I shouldn't have done that at that time, but we are, I don't think, punished. Do you have conditional counter spells? Seems not. Visions of Phyrexia, not a card that ever really saw meta play. It's too slow. You don't get, unlike drawing cards, you don't get to choose when to play the cards it gives you.
All right.
Vice Like Elm says, great t-shirt. Thank you, Vice Like Elm. I think you know this one. Insomnium. Great band. Not so good live, I'll admit. At least not when I saw them a few years ago. But
let's see what this does.
Melodic death metal. What if I wanted that card? All right, so chat, let's read what this did, because I've never seen this played. Exchange control of 2 target artifacts and enchantments. Okay, you chose enchantments. It gave me an eidetic memory. Eidetic memory doesn't do much for our deck, does it? Okay. Very funny. What are the other... Okay, so... Oh, I see. It's tech.
If my cookie had stayed alive, I would have an Urbrass Forge right now.
I see. It's tech. You play crappy creatures and then give them to your opponent in exchange for your opponent's actually good creatures.
No, you give them cookies. How could they be mad about that?
I don't know if my deck wants cookies.
Are you... Chat, I did not just draw 2 lands. Don't let him know.
One thing I like about the Power Stones generated by Visions of Phyrexia, you can use them to pay for Maze Mind Poem, playing it and activating it.
Oh, that's cool.
Pays for Urbrass Forge, too.
Do decks need lands?
Not every deck. Every deck in Standard, I think. But not every deck. We'll just get it down.
Yeah.
Can you answer 3 forges?
If I drew one very specific card, which I didn't draw.
One very specific... Okay, is one of those...
The Seasons of Weaving.
Season Weaving, yeah, bounce all effects. I mean, but I still keep them, and I have enough mana to play down at least 2.
Let's see. So, 9 out of the first 14 cards in my deck were lands.
Yeah, you had a poor draw. You had a poor draw. I'll definitely give you that. Yes, and this Curiosity you do have to play at sorcery speed. Well, on your turn at least. Alright, our opponent is on the board, but we may just have them jump blocking. We'll see what they choose to do.
How many Burst Lightnings could he possibly have?
Well, you might have recalled me saying during sideboarding, I want to keep all the instant speed interaction that I can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see what happens. The answer is I only have one burst lightning, but I only need one with the kicker.
Oh,
GG.
there it is. You are the winner of the first official Jank-Off.
I am the winner, at least winner of the games. Who is the winner of the jankiest deck?
That's a good question.
That's what we have to decide next.
Okay.
Let's look at yours. Unblockable drawing cards. All right, which of these cards see meta play? Curiosity. Occasionally Silent Hall Creeper. I haven't seen it in Pro Magic, but Into the Floodmaw. Opt. You only have a couple cards that see meta play.
It's true.
Mine, well, why did that pop in there? I must have clicked something. Forge sees some meta play in sideboards.
Me.
Maze Mind Tome sees meta play. Burst Lightning does. Occasionally.
I'll pull up yours for the benefit of my viewers.
Thank you, Vice.
Could you send me a link to the deck real quick?
Link to deck. Coming your way via Discord. I thought I'd send it to you, but I must have just put it in.
I got it. Yep. All right.
I think you win on the jank factor. You run.
Tell me why.
You run slightly fewer meta cards. I'm looking at my deck. I have actually fewer meta cards than I thought. But on the other hand, I do admit that attack with creatures, draw cards is kind of meta behavior. That's what the Dimir deck does, for example. Flash in creatures.
No, that is true. It's true. It is meta behavior, which is problematic.
Control deck. Control isn't really meta right now. Domain does it some.
So the reason that I ended up going that way is because it started as a haha, you can't block me deck, and then I was like, but what do I do with that? And the only real payoff for smashing people in the face that I could find was drawing cards. At least in blue. I was looking so hard for other payoffs, and they didn't. I just couldn't find them. So
yeah, it's kind of a constraint of the color.
So it didn't really start as a draw cards type of deal. It started as a I'm gonna haha, you can't block me.
But you have the Prophet's Eidetic Memory to turn that card draw into damage.
Exactly, yeah. And I have the Mischievous Mischief to turn the card draw that I get from the damage into tokens.
And tokens turn into damage.
Okay. Or if I put a Fountain Toad in there, they turn into more cards. But
you have to run probably another land for that.
That was my problem. Is I kept pushing the lands down until I stopped getting flooded.
Sometimes that's what I do. Yeah, you have so much card draw that often you can do it.
And when I got to 18, it was the sweet spot where I was never hurting to play. I mean, look at the curve. Look at the 1 and 2. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. But the Grift card that I sideboarded in is just. It's so funny because it just really catches people off guard. And it was the best non-bounce sort of removal that I could think of. So that I found, and I like it because it is the epitome of what I believe jank decks should be doing.
Play bad cards, give them to your opponent.
Exactly, which is may or may not be a theme in one of these future jank-offs. Who knows?
I hope so. I will say it seems like an expensive card for your deck.
Yeah, that's the problem with it. And the spree cards, I did try. What was it? What's it called? Let's have a look at my sideboard. Did you have a look at my sideboard?
I'll bring it up now for the viewers.
Yeah. So I do have the copy. I do have 3 steps ahead in there, but it's just so expensive. It does everything my deck wants to do, plus a counterspell option. I mean, creating a token that's a copy of a target artifact creature under control is it's there. And then, but the draw 2 cards, discard, and then counter stuff is great, but you have to be like already up on mana by quite a bit.
And
Soul Guide Lantern
just don't have any mana acceleration really.
Yeah. Soul Guide Lantern was just the anti-graveyard card I chose. I could have chosen Ghost Vacuum, I guess. I liked it that this one I could, after I use it, I could sacrifice it to draw.
Yeah, if you don't need the new graveyard option.
Unauthorized Exit was the 2 mana bounce spell I was using before I went to Into the Royal.
What does Into the Royal do?
Into the Royal is the one that lets me kick it to draw a card.
Yeah, that's
unauthorized
exit. Surveil.
Unauthorized Exit I was using to bounce and get Shoreline Looter to Threshold. But I found out after a lot of testing that getting Shoreline Looter to Threshold is something that's really nice, but not like the win condition, so it became less important. Which is another reason why I took the 1 Hulk out. And then the Swords of Forge and Frontier are just cool, and I want to try them, but I haven't got to get them in a game yet because they're so expensive.
Again, expensive, yeah. They're good on unblockable creatures, for sure.
Good on unblockable creatures, but costs. I haven't. They're in there because someday I will sideboard them in and see what they're like. And then Bottomless Pool is just more stuff. More. 1
mana creature bounce. 5 mana. Okay, another Curiosity effect.
Curiosity, yeah. The thing I don't like about it, it's not instant speed.
No.
And 2, it doesn't go in my graveyard, so it doesn't help Shoreline Looter get the Threshold. So,
no. It is another enchantment for your. Do you have any Delirium effects? I guess you have the Great Door has a Delirium-ish effect.
The Great Door has a Delirium effect. Yeah. Usually they meet that. I just play down another Prophecytic Memory and kick the other one into the graveyard. So, I might go up to 2 Seasons of Weaving because that card does save my life when I draw it and can cast it.
Maybe. There's something to be said for if, like, often you're just dead by turn 6. If you're behind.
Yeah, it's true.
Have you considered? Here's a good transition to okay. What do we want to change about these jank decks? And what would you change?
This is the part where.
Yeah.
This is the part where you teach me how to not be jank or to be less jank.
I don't know. I haven't played a mono blue unblockable aggro deck ever. Filter Out might fill a similar role. You don't play a ton of non-creature permanents, and it's a good answer to a lot of like Overlord decks and Rakdos Sacrifice decks that put a lot of non-creature permanents into play.
It's only an uncommon. I didn't even know this existed.
And 3 mana, so actually playable with 18 lands. I don't think it's main deck. I think it's more a sideboard card, but.
So it does what Season of Weaving does cheaper, basically.
Season of Weaving bounces creatures also. Filter Out specifically does not bounce creatures, so it doesn't help when you're behind the board on that. But your deck is majority creatures. You often want to keep those in play. So trade-offs.
Yes, those classic creature-heavy, aggressive blue decks that just want to get in there and. The classic archetype. Whenever someone drops an island, the first thought is, oh no, here comes the unblockable haste creatures.
There may be something to be said for replacing some of your flood moths with unsummons.
Yeah, I did.
Usable as a self-protection effect. You have a lot of cheap creatures that you can save and replay.
Yeah.
But again, we like the flood moth's ability to
The Flood Maul can also do that as
non-creatures.
well.
Flood Maul cannot target your own creatures.
Oh, you're right. Okay, that's a good point. Yeah,
that's the trade-off there. Blast Zone Island. Like you said, Fountain Port. Definitely, you want one of Fountain Port. Possibly also one of Demolition Field.
I don't have that card.
I think it's only.
I have the less good one, Volatile Vault.
Yeah, Demolition Field's just an uncommon from Brothers War. It's very good at permanently dealing with opposing creature lands. It's more important in control matchups. Often in your kind of aggro game plan, you're trying to win before creature lands come into play. But
it's also a foundation. It was also printed in Foundations.
Oh, it was in Foundations. You probably have some then.
I don't.
You don't?
Because I think it was in the you can only craft these Foundation cards.
Oh, it was one of the Jumpstart packs or something?
Yeah. I have at this point every single Foundations card that you don't have to craft.
And then the draftable, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Vice. Yeah, back for now, at least for these Sunday nights. We'll see what comes after that. Good to see you too.
Should we show off? We still got some time. Do you want to show off some of our other jank we've made?
More than one jank per night? Well, let me talk about at least what changes I would make for my deck.
Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, okay.
All right, Arena, come on. I get this sideboard bug, but at least we can hover over the cards, see what they are. The weaknesses of this deck. Very early aggro we can actually deal with pretty well because we have so many sweepers and cheap removal effects. 2 1-drops that remove, a 2-drop that removes, and then Brotherhood's End. The weakness is go big decks. Usually a traditional controlled deck will use counter spells to deal specifically with a lot of non-creature threats that try to go big and win the game with mill, with beanstalks and overlords, or with combos. We can't really interact with any of that. A lot of our deck is sorcery speed, and a lot of it is oriented at dealing with creatures only. We have to kind of splash some colorless effects for dealing with non-creature threats. So that leaves us with some very polarized matchups in the meta. We actually do quite well versus aggro, but mid-range, if they get out big creatures, we just have a hard time dealing enough damage to them every single turn efficiently and keeping up with card advantage. And then control mirrors, very, very bad. If they're using mill win cons, we just can't interact with it. To play Jace twice and we lose. So no, this is not a meta deck. The main exception is Urabrask's Forge. In the meta, there isn't currently a lot of artifact interaction in the main board. Most folks are relying on Get Lost or Paw Patch formation as ways to hit enchantments. Or in Paw Patch formation, creatures with flying, Get Lost hits planeswalkers, a lot of that versatile removal, but they specifically don't hit artifacts. Forge gives us that resilient win condition that often doesn't really get answered. It's a slow win condition. And it also suffers post-board. You'll see white decks bring in Exorcise. It's 2 mana, exile, artifact, enchantment, or a creature with power 4 or greater, I think. We don't really have an answer to that. If all our forges get dealt with, we're kind of dead in the water and have to cobble together wins with our planeswalkers, which are slow and hard to defend. We don't have blockers. It's hard to defend these planeswalkers. We have to keep the board clear. That's why we use our sweepers. So, changes. It's possible we should get rid of some of these utility lands and bring in a couple more mountains. More than once, we just don't have enough red to cast Brotherhood's End or Mechanized Warfare on turn 3. They both require 2 red pips. But I don't know what we give up. All cards are pretty important interaction. Possibly Mirex is the card I would give up next, but it can come into play and be red on the turn you play it, so it's tough. Chandra Flameshaper. 7 mana. It's a big planeswalker. It can win games, but I often find us needing it earlier and then just being hard to defend. I almost wonder if Hope's Beacon is better. I might just play a second one of these instead of Flameshaper, we often don't need both effects from Flame Shaper. If we're casting something for 7 mana, we have enough mana. So her +2 generating mana for us doesn't do a lot. We're using it for the cards mostly. And Hope's Beacon, we can just do that. We can get better card selection with her +1. Also relevant, she doubles instant and sorcery spells. Sorry, I should say copies them. This turns all our sweepers into serious sweepers. Pyroclasm, 4 to everything. Brotherhood's End, 6 to everything, effectively, because you're copying. Adamantized Warfare, same deal. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think I'll play this deck on the ladder. The matchups are too polarized, and our sideboard options are too limited. If you want to play this in the meta, what I usually see are with Boros color combinations, white gives you a lot of the flexibility and removal and card draw that just mono red lacks. And occasionally you also see counter spells, and there's some combo potential. A lot of those are good ways to defend your Urbax Forge win con plan, while also giving you good interaction. I personally really loved having this matchup of red versus blue, switching roles.
It wasn't planned either. That's the beauty of it.
I'm just like, I want to play red control next, and
I always said I want to beat people's face with blue creatures. Like,
all I knew coming to this was that AlbinoCheesemonkey's deck contains blue. Well, great game. Great games. And I guess we didn't talk about this, what happens when we land early. We can either play another best of 3 or be done for tonight. What do you think? I don't think we should bring in another deck at this point.
No, because we could save them for later, yeah. Why don't we make some edits and then go at it one more time? How about that?
Okay, go make your edits.
Okay.
I'll stroke my beard.
Oh my god! Oh, yours is already perfect. Is that what you're saying?
It's not that it's perfect. It's just that there's only a certain amount you can do with a given strategy and a given card pool.
That's true.
Like, I could take Visions of Phyrexia down some for some more interaction.
Yeah.
Like, there's tweaks that can be made, but I don't think there's any fundamentally better things that we should be doing other than just tweaking and saying, okay, Visions of Phyrexia might be one more. Chandra's Hope Beacon is better than the Flame Shaper. I'm kind of just happy with how it is.
I think the only real thing I'm doing is putting in some unsummons.
Unsummons, Fountain Pour, and Demo Field?
And Fountain Pour, and Demo Field. Yep. Are any of those... You know, there was a time where I was experimenting with... are you familiar with the card Behind the Mask?
Nope. Is it Karlov Manor?
Yeah.
That's
so it's a 1-mana common. It reads, as additional cost to cast a spell, you may collect evidence 6. I don't care about that. What I care about is that it says, until end of turn, target artifact or creature becomes an artifact creature with base power toughness 4/3. And I was getting ultra aggressive, turning my cookie into a 4/3 and hitting them for turn 2 over and over again, assuming I drew them. It was too gimmicky. And I know that that's wrong to say that about a jank brew, but it was so inconsistent. But it was funny when it happened.
Yeah, I don't know if pump spells are really the place for your deck.
No, it's not. There's also Curious Anchor. You can enchant your creatures so that when they deal combat damage, they get +1/+1 and they investigate. I unironically toyed around with Candlestick. Equipped creature gets +1/+1, and whenever this creature attacks, surveil 2. And then later, you just sack the Candlestick for 2 to draw a card. It was too slow, but it was silly.
Yeah, that's draft brain.
Yeah, it was too slow, but it was silly. So yeah, those were some of the other things. But yeah, I'm gonna throw some unsummons here. I put the Fountain Port. It's too many lands.
Okay, I think I'm gonna bring in Scorching Dragonfire from the sideboard. There's just so many 3 toughness targets that need exile, like Curiosity, and Unstoppable Slasher, Enduring Innocence. I I think it's just a useful card. For folks building this deck, you can go higher on Koth. For this deck, he's good at 4 mana. I only have 1. I didn't really want to craft a second, but you could go to 2. Same thing for, what was it? There's another one of, possibly Sunken Citadel you could go to 2 of. Right, we're being challenged. So
I'll get you this time.
I am making a change. I think Mechanized Warfare is a win more card. I like how it interacts with our sweepers, but I might rather just have another damage-based effect in that spot, so Scorching Dragonfire might do better. Oh, is your challenge still active?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, I'm going to have to move my chat to see the challenge, because it stopped popping up. Here we go. Sorry, folks. All right, one more best of 3.
Now, on this deck, we definitely want to be on the draw.
I'm sarcasm. So, while testing this deck, I actually seriously considered this deck might be a deck that actually does want to be on the draw.
Cookies.
Because our sweepers just gain more value the more creatures are on the board. Like Pyroclasm on turn 2 on the play doesn't really do anything. You're just removing 1 creature if you play it. So if you don't have Maze Mind Tome or something else to play on 2, what are you even doing? You're just kind of wasting a turn. But now see how we're on the draw. We Pyroclasm, take out 2 creatures.
Rough.
I almost wonder if versus this deck, your strategy is just to only have 1 threat out at a time.
That's a good point. I should be playing based on what I know, but I kind of reset my brain pretending like I didn't know what I was getting into right now.
You don't have to pretend.
But
these are known decks. I'm playing with full knowledge of what you're doing. I might not have Pyroclasmed if I didn't know that.
These are good points that you've made.
Like, interestingly, if you deal with the forges, I think you win the very long game. You just don't have the good tools for dealing with the forges. That's kind of what this deck relies on meta-wise. Folks not dealing with the forge. Looter, pitching a looter.
The loot. He wants to be the only one. You see, if there were more than 1 looter, you'd have to share the loot.
That's true.
All right.
Wondering if you were contemplating Curiosity.
Do we have the 1 mana answer? Okay.
What else do I have in my hand?
I've learned.
You have. I had nothing. Folks, I don't like leaving his Curiosity to stick. This thing just draws so many cards. It's hard for our deck to deal with. Thankfully, we were able to keep his board clear otherwise. It's really dangerous when you're snowballing into with multiple little evasive 1/1s like the Dimir deck does in current standard meta. With Spyglass Siren, you can do that at instant speed. What's this 1 mana interaction? Okay.
It's a fish.
I was really hoping for a way to deal with your Curiosity, but
I had your curiosity, but now I have your attention.
Well, tell me what that's from. Or chat, tell me what that's from.
I'll wait for them to say. Tell me if they don't in like 20 seconds.
I don't think I have enough viewers.
Django Unchained. The Quentin Tarantino movie. Yeah.
That's probably what I would have guessed based on the accent. But
really? That movie specifically?
I don't know. It seems like a movie you would watch, and it sounds like something that the characters would say. And I had seen it once, so it's possible some little.
That's right. You do know me.
Associations back here knew what was going on.
All right. How do I do this?
Beat face with curiosity.
I think I'm actually. You know what? I'm gonna rob you of your other things. I'm assuming you wanted those.
Yeah,
I really like Chart a Course for this deck.
Yeah, like we said, it's very flexible for your deck. It fills multiple roles. I probably was being sloppy with this turn. I think we could have squeezed out a few more points of damage.
Oh, you didn't want to sacrifice the fish?
I'm sacrificing the fish now.
Oh, okay.
So I think you probably should have kept taking up the blast zone in that case, because you know that forage is what beats you. My tome was almost spent, and Iron Crag just doesn't matter at this stage of the game. I have so much mana.
Okay.
I'm not actually sure that Iron Crag even belongs in the main deck. Standard is so fast these days that you can't really afford to not be interacting or gaining card advantage on 2.
Ooh. You didn't hear that. An emotional roller coaster.
A polarized reaction. We'll play this forage down again. You'll forge your demise. And I just can't resist the value of spending my mana on cards.
I don't have to spend mana on that. I mean, I can if I want. I don't have to.
This is a good draw, chat. It's good to have a duplicate.
All right, let's give him problems. Let's let him give me problems. All right, I won't do my cheeky play.
Too cheeky.
Instead,
man. Too cheeky.
I'll just hit you with this one. Or I won't. This man hates cookies. You heard it here first. He hates them.
You're getting too much curiosity value. You gotta slow down. Alright, this way, chat, we have him on more of a clock. We can't just let him keep drawing more creatures that draw more cards, which are creatures which gain more value, etc.
All right.
Interesting. All right. That's a good answer to Forge for now. I don't like that resets your curiosity.
Anytime I can get the seasons into my decks, I just try to. I love them so much. You know how much I love modal cards.
Mm-hmm. There's one problem. They're 5 mana, and 5 mana is kind of when you want to win the game in current standard. Question is, chat, can he deal with both of these forges in time again? It is true. 2 hits with Curiosity, and we are cooked. We don't really have much life gain in this deck. Tome is it, and it's very slow.
Does he wipe?
I wipe very thoroughly. Thank you very much.
Do I need health? Who needs
Do
health
you
right
block? You know, I already spent 2 burst lightnings.
I'll block one of them.
Okay. This is going to tell you whether I have a wipe or not.
Joke's on you. I hate my creatures.
No, you don't. You love your cookies.
No, it's true. I love my little rat. And his
Your pet rats.
What does he got there? He's got like a crab, spider. What is that?
It's got praying mantis looking arms. I have no idea what that is. Cheese monkey. That's a flash speed creature. You're putting it out for my interaction. Are you just trying to get eidetic memory value? Yeah. Okay. I see that. That's a good play then. Because I do have Brotherhood's End in hand. More toughness. What are we going to do against about 4 toughness?
That's a beefy cat.
So if I attack in with 6 trample and you block 4 of it, you survive. So we're just going to use our cards and win the game. It's not even a 2 for 1, it's a 2 for 1/2, but lethal's lethal.
All right.
All right, forging our wins. Forging
ahead.
Yeah.
Wonder.
I will admit, my deck's pretty good against yours. You have a lot of little crappers, and I have a lot of sweepers for little crappers.
I'm gonna try some weird stuff. Will it cause me to lose? Probably. Is that the spirit of jank? Definitely. Let's do some weird stuff. I need to remove a bunch of cards. So probably the lands, right?
You'll be gratified to learn that I am also, I think, janking up for this particular
It's good.
game.
It's good. It wouldn't be a jank-off if we didn't both jank.
Yeah. Just 2.
That's right. Nothing like janking on a Sunday night.
Oh, man. What do I cut? What do I even cut?
Not the cheese, I hope.
No, the cheese is all your domain.
Nice.
I thought that's what you're going for.
There were 2 meanings, yeah. It was both a fart joke and a reference to my name. I'm not saying I'm a comedic mastermind, but I'm not saying that. Ben, do we keep one land hand?
You tell me what you told me earlier.
We do not.
Okay. It's possible I should not be keeping my hand, but only way when we see.
I don't like this hand, but I kept it. You know why I don't like this hand? No cookie.
No cookie, turn 1. That's what I was about to say. But you got a looter. Looter scooter.
I do.
Doodle McTooter.
And he's gonna get at least 1 loot.
It's gonna get bigger.
Get in there.
I don't like that he's getting bigger because of this card.
What do I pitch? I don't want to pitch any of these. Okay, I'll pitch that. There it is, my joke card. You don't get to see it.
Well, thankfully we got your punchline. The previous best of 3.
It's a fun card.
Open mana. Ooh.
Spooky. It's a cookie.
Uh-oh. Folks, he's charting. He's coursing.
What do I ditch?
Last turn you pitched, and this turn you ditch.
That's right. Oh.
I really wanted to save that for your curiosity, but you get the loot and you get 4 damage on me. It was too much.
Well, now I don't get the loot. I just get the scoot.
You weren't around for the old looter scooter in Standard, were you? Neither was I, for that matter. Smuggler's Copter, recently unbanned in Pioneer. I get to show off my one of Koth. Marvel at his mighty muscles.
Mountain card cause of fire resistance does damage to a creature equal to the number of mountains you control. Okay. Interesting.
He is basically the worst removal spell in my deck, except for the fact that he can be very big late game, but he's mostly there to threaten his ultimate, which is easy to attain. You just need to keep your board clear, because you're good at dealing with planeswalkers.
I have issues.
Don't we all?
So his +2 is to search your library.
Yeah. He's just drawing a mountain every turn for plus. Just give me mountains.
I wish I had harder removal for that.
For walkers? Yeah.
We'll soft remove it.
Okay. I accept. I think that's a losing exchange unless you can get more value onto the board.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, keep that card. So Koth is mopey until you get him to 7 or 8 loyalty. But the thing is, he gets to 7 or 8 loyalty very quickly because he comes in with 4 and then +2/+2.
I don't like that anything you put out you could just kill.
I can't kill Curiosity permanently. I mean, I can with a lot of cards and investment, but...
Yeah.
I think we cash in our tome here. Too slow.
Hmm.
So, of course, chat, I'm considering removing his Beast Binder because he can grow it with eidetic memory and threatens my Koth, but I'd rather just give him other problems to deal with. Koth is a chunky boy. He's a chunker.
I mean, threatens your Koth in other ways, though.
Wait, you can turn off planeswalkers? Alright, well, I guess we should have removed it.
I thought you were going to.
I know I should have, but... I've never seen Beastbinder against a planeswalker before. Okay, I don't like that. Let's see if he's in the blocking mood.
No.
I've learned. I brought in my jank. This is my jank card.
Oh my goodness, I'm jealous.
Just in case you brought in those 3 steps, now that I know you have them.
It's like legendary jank. My goodness. Alright. What do I want to do here?
Chat, this fulfills some of the same roles as Forge. Well, it's some of the same niche, where it's an artifact that wins the game on its own. So opponents generally can't interact with it very well. It doesn't win the game as directly. It gives you lots of card advantage, though, and usually board advantage. It's a 6-mana card. Usually we're playing this only when the spells you control can't be countered is any good. Okay, opponent is taking up Blast Zone into range of Forge. We don't like that. We don't like that, chat. You can do that at sorcery speed, though. I mean, instant speed.
That's true.
I'm growling at you. Okay.
I'm trying to take it up to 6 so I can take out your inner sun, which is the clear threat here.
Don't extinguish my inner light.
2 damage to each creature. No, I need him. This is gonna hurt.
Just think you can probably get rid of them next turn. Oh. If I'd cast my Pyroclasm...
You still can, right?
No, I'm in my...
Oh no, it discovers at the end of the turn. Yeah.
I can at least stop you from binding Koth, and so now you have to consider whether you want to attack me and draw cards, or attack Koth and keep him from his ultimate. We didn't get to any of our 4 demo fields, chat.
This isn't the right move, but it's the silly move, so I'm going to do it.
What brutish behavior? Yep, that's not the right move.
No, but it's silly. You just gotta let it happen.
It's silly, but now when you pop Blast Zone, it takes your Forge too. It is neat though. It is neat that you did it pre-combat. I'll give you neat points. how much do we care? Would we really sacrifice our ginger root? The answer is yes. Yes, we will sacrifice our ginger root. We get life from it.
You finally ate the cookie.
I ate your cookie. Part of the reason is, chat, we probably aren't going to keep the ginger root anyway. Our deck is so full of damage-based sweepers that just deal damage to every card on the board that it's probably not going to survive.
Also, it's a cookie. You're supposed to eat it.
That too. Good point.
Not much I can do.
No. We are effectively going to cash in Koth because our forge wins before his forge. And if you attack Koth, you're not attacking face. Oh, okay. That's neat.
What do I have? Anything? I should have done that after I attacked.
Yep. That's all right.
That's fine.
I don't think it will matter.
Yeah.
You probably could have killed Koth at least, but Koth is not going to do much for this game. It's going to be decided in other ways. Alas, my friend.
Well.
Lethal was on board. Oh, I drew a Burst Lightning anyway, but let the Knights do it.
I didn't even summon these two. I didn't even use these two unsummons that were sitting in my hand. But I always spend so much of my mana. Well, I would say that was a great first Jank-Off. You win the matches. Yes. I win the Jank.
Thank you.
We'll have to keep a record.
Shouldn't be too hard, at least for a while. All right, folks. Hope you enjoyed our Jank. We got some fun Jank, don't you think?
Yeah, go ahead and follow us. We're going to make this a Sunday tradition. Sunday
evening. Technically, Monday midnight UTC. Monday, in the morning. But we are in EST. So 7 p.m. will be the time going forward. We'll update that if that changes. We're already working on Jank for the next one. So come tune in next week. See what we've got. It will be the same format. A blind best of one. Deck tech. So just hang through the blind best of one. And we'll show you what the decks do. And then a 1 or 2 best of 3s to really decide who is the Jank King this week.
That's right. So the current score is match score, Ben 1, me 0. Jank score, me 1, Ben 0.
Yes, it was a close one in both accounts, especially the Jank score, I would say, because mono red control man.
That's right.
But I think we agree that the mono blue card draw aggro has to be the Jank, unblockable, under the radar.
Just because the number of non-meta cards I shoved in there.
I think that's a deciding factor.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was fun.
I agreed. Hope y'all enjoyed.
Let's do it again next week.
See y'all next week for the Sunday Jank-Off with Ben or Break and AlbinoCheesemonkey. Follow, subscribe, like the video if you're watching on YouTube. Peace out.
Deck list should be in the description
of my video. Come on over, Ben or Break at YouTube. Should be easy to find.
And if you have suggestions on how to jank up our decks, let us know.
Please comment. Comment on things that we can improve also. We're always looking to do that. This is just the first episode of the series. So always looking for viewer engagement and viewer input.
All right. Good night.
Good night all.